Obviously, it's different if you know and you don't know. So if you don't know and you did it, that's a lot different than if you know about all of this and you did it. Does that make sense? There's a higher culpability if you know compared to don't know. So the question was, why was that?
I mean, it's still being done.
It's still being done, but one is an active choice, whereas the other one is an ignorant choice. And active choices have more penalties upon the soul later in your life. So, for example, if you know that doing something damaging, like for example, many of you would not know that each time you control your children to do your will, you're actually breaking their free will. So many of you wouldn't know that, right, until we've talked about that. Right? Now, there's a less of a penalty about that than there is if you know and deliberately do it, which is actually abusive. Do you follow me? So both are abusive, but one is less so because you don't know what's going on. It's probably the same thing was done to you, and it's a multi-generational thing. So God obviously attributes, and it's not God's attributes, it's actually the laws of God are such that if you do a deliberate act, that is different than doing an unconscious act. Okay? So, and there's different sets of penalties that occur on the soul when you do those acts. However, I must point out that you may then argue in your own mind, well, it's best to remain ignorant. And actually, one of the worst conditions in the spirit world are those who have chosen to remain ignorant. In fact, the areas in the spirit world in the first sphere, in the hells, they are literally populated by millions and millions of people who have never progressed for thousands of years in the spirit world because they chose to remain ignorant. So it's actually a very, very damaging state to choose to remain ignorant. All right? So I just thought I'd clarify that.